12 games down here, and we're going to get your predictions. We're going to get your scorelines. I am going to give you mine too, and we're all going to make lovely predictions and not make fools of ourselves at all. Now, you'll see up there, we are sponsored by Betfair and Football 365 for this show this season. We thank them profusely. So we are going to be using the now growingly legendary Football 365 predictor game to log in all our thoughts. And I would love you to do the same. If you just head over to football365.com, you can see across the top there the menus. Obviously, we're in the predictor game, but where it says championship, next to there is where you find the championship predictor game. We are going to get into this imminently. We need your help with this show as ever. Hello in the chat to Lee and to Nosage, to Alex. Let me know you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly. And let's get to it this lunchtime with our predictions. These will all be written up on Football 365 as well very, very soon. Quick, one more plug. Let's say a big thank you to the Donovan brothers. Steve was in the chat the other night in the watch on the Fulham game. They are our fan sponsors for the previous show as well. They sponsor in memory of their now passed father, Dennis, and brother, Mike, both sorely missed and cheering on Millwall. From above. Lovely tribute and thank you to the Donovan brothers. Second season running, they have sponsored the preview show. Welcome, Flipside Fish, Jason. Welcome, Sean, JC. Saw me on League 72. Thank you very much. Yeah, check that out after you've given me your predictions, of course. Simon, welcome along. Simon loves Sky Sports, doesn't he, from my Twitter earlier? Chris, 12 aways. There we go. Plug them all in. 12-2-1 away wins. I'm sure somebody's tried that after banging their head against a brick wall trying to predict the championship. Right, game number one, ladies and gentlemen, is tonight's Sky TV game, Stoke versus West Bromwich Albion. Give me your thoughts in the chat. You can give me a Stoke draw or West Brom. I would love a bit of an explanation as well, if you can be bothered. But please feel free, Stoke draw or West Brom. Remember the rules here. Tell me what you think will happen, not what you want to happen. I need to know what you think will happen, not what you want to happen. We know you want your team to win. Everyone wants their team to win. But what do you think will actually happen? Get your thoughts in on this one. Stoke draw or West Brom. We'll be here tonight from 7:30 watching along this one. I'm looking forward to it. We've also done the tactical preview over on Football 365 as well. It's an interesting matchup. And strangely, you would have Stoke as the kind of ones who are going to want to circulate the ball in midfield. And West Brom are going crash, bang, wallop and pressing and intense and throw-ins and all of that good stuff. West Brom have just turned the corner back, though, haven't they, after 3 straight draws? Couple of good wins, 4-0 win at Cardiff as well. They are top on 22 points. Stoke are good, but are they good enough to go toe-to-toe with the league leaders and one of those juicy funded parachute teams there? I don't know. My research tells me Stoke are very, very good at home, but West Brom are also very, very good away. XG, form, league table, everything else does point towards West Brom, despite the fact Stoke are good. Maybe Stoke's success or failure this season is not going to be predicated on games against West Brom. Let's have a look here. Let's say hi to Peter as well. Jake, draw. JC, West Brom. I think he's taken my, or has the same thoughts as me there. I think Stoke are a top side, but West Brom to win. Jason's gone for Stoke. Lee's gone for Stoke, caught out by a well-oiled machine. West Brom. Big Val doesn't do draws or defeats. No, he doesn't. West Brom, draw, says Chris. Baggies for Alfonso. Jack's gone with West Brom. Away. Baggies by 1. Baggies. Moat, another stunner incoming. What a goal by Moat at Cardiff. Away. 1-1 away from Shaw. 1-1 draw here. 2-1 Baggies, and Cherry's Red Army has gone for the Baggies. I think JC summed it up in the chat. Stoke are good, but I just think they're catching West Brom possibly at the wrong time here. Away! Let's go for an away win for them, their Baggies. And I'm gonna say Stoke are gonna score, but I'm gonna plug in a 2-1 over on the Football 365 predictor app, which Betfair will give me 15-2 on. Remember, with all things gambling, begambleaware.org, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. If you do all of that, you can get 15-2 over at Betfair. Game number 2, Bournemouth versus Sheffield United. Get your thoughts in, get your predictions in. Bournemouth draw Sheffield United on this one. Bournemouth have got this interesting stat now of having played all 3 of the promoted teams from League One. Sorry, a bit bright there. And not having beaten any of them. But they're still undefeated and second in the league, joint on points with West Brom. So they're getting their points from somewhere, even if it's not the teams who are lower down in the table. Bournemouth also have conceded the fewest goals in the Championship this season. Sheffield United, we thought, had possibly turned the corner, but got caught out. Some good finishing by Middlesbrough, I have to say, in our watch along, and looked a bit flat again, didn't they? I don't really know what to say there. Do Bournemouth keep up their good run and stay undefeated? Do Blades go back to where they were previous to this? Certainly 2 very highly skilled first 11s and squads, really, for both. So, interesting one. I think I'll go to the chat and see what you guys are saying here. I think we'll start with you, and I think he's talking about this game. Draw. Bournemouth by 1. Bingley Blade, our defence too leaky. I mean, he's right. They're conceding 1.4 goals a game at the moment. Draw, Banker home. Most reliable prediction. Yeah, anything can happen. Yeah, good luck with your game, Alfonso, on this one. Peter, Blades were poor on Tuesday. Physically, I matched the midfield. Would surprise if we get anything. Interesting. Cherry's jest. Draw, Blades need to pick up points. Yeah, can get left behind, but you know what Championship's like, Jake. 8-game run and teams just zoom through, don't they? Thick and fast. Matt's gone for Bournemouth. Carl's gone for a draw. Cherry's Red Army. It worries me. We haven't lost yet. First world problems there. 1-1 draw, just like the last time the teams met. Dean caught in midweek, in the Premier League, excuse me. Bournemouth rested players in midweek. Bournemouth bounced back. Cherries press hard. They'll win. Draw. Bournemouth. Interesting. Not a lot of love for Sheffield United there. Perhaps maybe they'll become more viable after this next international break. I tend to agree with you lot. I do. Home. Let's go for Bournemouth, which would be a fine thing. It would take them to 25 points from the first 11. I'm going to head over to the Football 365 predictor. And on the basis of Bournemouth's strong defensive record, I'll go for a 1-0, which you can get 11-2 on Betfair on. 1-0 to Bournemouth there to beat Sheffield United. As ever, get your predictions in on the Football 365 predictor game. Good fun this season. You can put your money where your mouth is and your neck on the line. Right, Coventry versus Fulham, please, guys. Coventry draw or Fulham? Coventry draw or Fulham? Now, we had this one beautifully set up as Coventry flying high with this perfect home record and Fulham and Mitrovic coming to town. And then Coventry lost 5-0 to Luton in midweek. Typical Championship result. Coventry haven't really dropped in the table, but they will hope their confidence is not knocked by a bit of a pasting down at the Kenny. And for all their good attacking in Gyökeres, they're not massively prolific, Coventry, 1.2 goals per game, but they are spotless, perfect, brilliant at home. Speaking of spotless, perfect, brilliant, that could describe Alexander Mitrovic's first half performance for Fulham as they beat Swansea 3-1 in midweek. However, they're a little bit spotty, aren't they? Lost 1, lost, drawn 1. My research tells me the Coventry home record plays in their favour, but XG, chance creation, plays in Fulham's, and form and the table also, even though slightly because they're third against fourth, also play slightly in Fulham's favour. Is it going to be a rude awakening for Coventry, or can they continue the perfect home record? What you guys saying? Cherries goes with Fulham. Jack goes with Fulham. That's a good point, though. Fulham seem vulnerable to banana skin games. Agree with that. Score draw for Coyle. 1-1 for Matt. Same there. Draw. Fulham win. Mitro to get a brace. Away. Draw. Quishy's put in a question mark after all his predictions today. Is that a caveat there? Darbo back. Fancy a draw, says Alex. Hopefully we can bounce back, says Callum. Believe our 100% home form will get us over the line. But this one, Fulham have dropped points to a few bottom half teams. Yeah, that's the banana skin theory there. Coventry 1, Fulham 2, says Neil Thompson, the great Ipswich left back there. Fulham, says Sean. David, Fulham have become a bit hot and cold. Yeah, agreed. Who's he gone for? Class will still show. There you go. JC, Coventry had a shocker midweek. The championship cheat code, Mitrovic. You can always put that up as a reasonable argument, can't you? So good, wasn't he? Coventry, 2-2, Mitro hat-trick. There you go. Fulham 3-1. Whoever scores first will win. Wayne, Fulham win. Mitro and Gyökeres. We should mention there is not just one very good striker in form playing in this game. That is a fair point. But, go on. I don't think it's a joker. It's only a joker based on Coventry's home form. I'm going to go for Fulham to overpower them in this one. And the end of the perfect home record. Away! We will see how this one pans out. But Mitrovic looking irresistible on Wednesday night. And I think Fulham can do it. And I think there's going to be goals in this one. So I'm going to plug in and see what Betfair tell me how ridiculous this prediction is. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Fulham. Maybe Gyökeres and O'Hare can do. Oh, it's a long shot. It's a long shot. Our furthest one so far, guys. 14-1. Go and get involved in that. Coventry 1, Fulham 3. I've gone for. You get 14-1 over on Betfair. Be gamble aware, 18 plus only, please. Gamble responsibly. You're all responsible people, aren't you? I'll tell you who's a responsible person. Neil Critchley, and a very good football manager. He's got Blackpool playing well. Blackpool versus Blackburn. The battle of the teams that I'm going to get muddled up with my abbreviations. We knew it was coming, didn't we? BLP for Blackpool, BLR for Blackburn. But I'm still going to fall over that many times this weekend, aren't I? Get your predictions in. Blackpool, draw, or Blackburn. The home and away form has me heading towards Blackburn. The XG has me heading towards Blackpool. The form is fairly even. Blackburn just edging that one. The table, Blackburn quite a bit higher up. But I don't think it's going to be that simple. And I keep falling over Blackburn, don't I? I just threw my hands up and gave it a 0-0. And then I lost 3-2 to Huddersfield. So Blackburn are my new Stoke this season. I'm just continually getting them wrong. What we can't get wrong now is how good Ben Brereton Diaz is. He got another 2 goals. And pretty much every time he steps on the pitch, you're giving Blackburn a goal now. But Blackpool are good. And Shane Lavery is, in terms of rises, is fairly equal with Ben Brereton Diaz, isn't he? He's come from nowhere and looks like the main man up top. Blackpool in very good form, actually. 10 points in 5. Blackburn, 8 points in 5. Woof. Hard one to call despite the relative disparity and the 10 places between the two in the table. Let's run for the hills and go for the chat. Oh, let's not go over there. Let's go over here, for the chat. What do we got here? 2-2, says Jack. A draw for Sean. Away and an away. And the Chilean sensation is getting flagged up again. 2-1 Paul. 1-0 Paul. Away. Score draw all over the shop here, guys. It's a tough one to call, isn't it? Blackburn away win. Blackburn. I think you guys are edging on Blackburn here. Draw 2-1 either way. The Chilean nightmare, the Chilean sensation to pull Blackburn through this. What a season he's having. Draw. Lavery and Diaz both for Rovers. They're both on form, aren't they? Stop SL and the Burn will sneak it. Alfonso, Blackburn looked a good attacking, so a bit vulnerable in defence. I'm allowed to do this because I've gone decisive, and I always get Blackburn wrong. So here comes my fence. Draw! Let's just go for a draw. Let's assume that with Brereton, Diaz, and Lavery in good form, both of them, that there's enough attacking stuff on the pitch. I'll go for a 1-1. Let's sit in on a 1-1 there. I think both sides will take that and move on to the international break, won't they? 5-1 you will get from Betfair. 5-1 on a 1-1 draw. Although I will acknowledge the chat did skew Blackburn's way slightly over Blackpool. There, both sides, frankly, surprising me, and probably be happy with where they are right now. QPR versus Preston. Get your predictions in, please. QPR draw. I know we're going to get some draws. Preston, 5 consecutive draws. QPR draw or North End in this one. QPR draw or Preston. Let me know your thoughts. QPR, decent enough at home. I'm basing that, though, on Preston not having a great away record. The XG actually skews in Preston's favour. Surprisingly, I thought QPR, but I think QPR have outscored themselves in the XG. So they're either good finishers or that's going to regress to the mean. We'll find out. That's the beauty of using XG stats. You can argue them anywhere and see where they go. All good fun. Preston in the form table just slightly edging QPR on the basis of those 3 defeats. But in the league table, you'd have QPR, they're 9 positions higher, and they're tucked in that second quartile in 8th position. And they could end up in the playoff spots by the end of this round with a win. Who's going for a Preston draw then? Would be 6 draws in a row. That feels like Simon Grayson's Preston rather than Frankie McAvoy's Preston. Let's see what you lot are saying in this one. Sorry, did I miss Huddersfield out? We'll go to Huddersfield in a second if I've skipped one. Let's have a look here. Don't worry about the running order. We'll just go with what I'm saying, and I'll go to Luton and Huddersfield next. I did miss it out. Never mind, anybody. Let's get this one done, and we'll go to Luton and Huddersfield next. QPR here, draw, QPR, home banker, except it's QPR, draw. Don't worry, guys. We're coming to Luton next. It's okay. It's okay, everybody. Free up Willock. We'll get rid of it. He played left wing back last game, Simon. Don't worry about Luton and Huddersfield. It's okay. I can see lots of comments coming in. I hear you. I hear all 17 of you commenting on it. QPR here, hoops, QPR. Ben's gone right. It's okay. Don't worry. I have not gone rogue. Home draw, QPR by the odd goal. Do you know what? I think I'm with Sean at the end, or Sean's with me. Lucky fella. Home. Let's go for QPR and the drawing streak to continue for, not to continue rather for Preston. Let's go 1-0. QPR, you will get 13-2 on that one. 13-2 over at Betfair to QPR to beat Preston. Right, if we're all calm, I did miss it out. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I will do it again. We're going to go back one. Sorry, Luton versus Huddersfield. And I probably want to skip this one because this one feels like it's impossible to call, for goodness sakes. Luton draw or Huddersfield. Give me Luton draw or Huddersfield. And the reason I say that is Luton's home form. They have so far this season recorded a 5-0 win, a 5-0 defeat, a 3-0 win, and they're also 3-0 up against Swansea and drew 3-3. Huddersfield have been beaten 5-1 by Fulham, but have also beaten Reading 4-0 and just come off the back of a 3-2. So we are all over the show with this one in the same way I'm all over the show. Missed it out off the running order, but we're back. Luton, draw or Huddersfield. Now, if you look at the homes and aways stuff, you would come up with Huddersfield, who are fairly good away. If you look at the XG, Luton's XG is massive. They're not performing their chance creation or conceding so far. Remember, that will either regress to the mean and they will move up the table, or it'll all drop off perhaps a little bit. Where else are we going on this one? The form table has Huddersfield and the league table has Huddersfield, but never underestimate the power of the Kenny. Let's have a look and see what you lot are saying here. Where are we? Not a bloody clue. You're not allowed to say that, Colm. There will be goals. So 0-0 for Colm then. Luton says, Jake, Richard has got a 3-1. Yeah, Cornick in fine form the other night. 9-all. I'll let that one go, being this one's all over the place. God only knows what I'd be without you. High scoring draw 3-3. Luton. Away, draw. Good argument for either one. Yeah, fairly easy to argue this one either way. Draw. Huddersfield. Sorba Thomas masterclass. Luton off a big home win. Halftime Huddersfield. Oh, I like that. Go and check that out on Betfair. Halftime Huddersfield, full-time Luton. Luton. The Martin Craney derby. Unbelievable. Or the Matty Pearson derby. He might even be playing for Huddersfield. 2-2. Snap your hands off for a draw in this one. Draw. We're consistently inconsistent. I'm going to go with the old XG argument on this one because I can't separate them any other way. And it's so slightly erratic from both. So I'm going to go with Luton. Home. We expect there will be goals in this one, but I won't crash in on a 3-2 or a 4-3 or a 2-2. I'm going to go for a 2-1. So both teams to score in this one, if you like those type of bets. Go and check it out on Betfair. They'll give you 7-1 for my prediction, which is Luton 2, Huddersfield 1. Right, we are just going to run our Championship 365 advert. If you don't already know about that, I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. If you're enjoying this show, then why not check out Championship 365?
The only area to find Benjamin Bloom, the Second Tier Podcast, and myself, Ben HD, all in the same place.
We'll debate the key topics and interact with you, our community of subscribers.
And we'll be releasing 2 exclusive weekly videos.
So, visit www.network.planetsport.com.
Championship 365, 3 creators, 1 community.
Go and check that out, Championship 365. And the video that we filmed on Tuesday has gone up today. The big debate was actually Ben HD and Justin debating Brereton Diaz versus Mitrovic. And then they both went and scored, 5 goals between them in midweek. So go and check that out, Planet Sport Network Championship 365. We are back here now, just very, very quickly, before we get to Peterborough versus Bristol City. If you wouldn't mind hitting like wherever you're watching, YouTube. God, I'm doing the win, draw, loss thing. YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We're going like that, and then we just leveled out as we're coming up to 20,000 subscribers, 19,430 something. Please go and hit subscribe. Tell your friends, and you can support financially if you so desire. The show is free, but you can donate via Super Chat by hitting the $1 button next to where you leave your comments. Right, let's get back into the predictions. I want to know what you think is going to happen at the Posh. Peterborough, draw, or Bristol City. Good result, I guess, in context for Peterborough, getting a clean sheet and taking a point off going into the round, what was the league leaders, Bournemouth. Bristol City went away to Millwall and lost. Their away form had been up until then better than their home. I mean, it still is, but we expected good things, and they go away again, Bristol City. They're on their travels, been to London. Now they go to Peterborough. Possibly, I don't know if Big Nige is still isolating, but he was missing at the Den with the COVID. So, yeah, hopefully he's well. Get your predictions in there, Peterborough draw or Bristol City. Remember, the normal narrative we peddle, rightly or wrongly, with Peterborough is their free scoring, free conceding, but it was a clean sheet. And their home form is decent. The only home game the Posh have lost was in the 95th minute, wasn't it? 4th minute, when Semi Ajayi scored for West Brom. So they got a good home record, despite having played West Brom and Bournemouth already. Bristol City, they go in my Blackburn bucket. They always confuse the hell out of me. So let's see what you lot are saying here. Away for OJ, Posh for Chris, Posh for MJ, 0-0. Away for Colm, a draw there. Posh decent at home. Says Matt. Posh for Mark as well. Hanging on for Grim Death, home win. That'd do. Dara the Explorer, wouldn't it? Draw, Posh. Bristol City, there's one. Peter. City got loads of injury rows, gone for a draw there. Posh have good home form, bad away form. 1-1, says JC. Catherine has gone for the Posh. and so has Dave. What am I doing? I'm going for neither of them. It's not on the fence. What did we do the maths at? There's 5 home wins, 4 away wins, and 3 draws per week. So here's another draw for me. We'll go for a draw in this one, but I am on both sides to score if you prefer that type of bet. Oh, short odds as well from Betfair, 5-1. Peterborough 1, Bristol City 1. I will go for in this one. You get 5-1 from our friends at Betfair. Please gamble responsibly. Oh, Mick. Cardiff versus Reading. Everybody, is Mick going to batten down the hatches in this one? Cardiff versus Reading. He's in trouble, Mick. 5 defeats in 6. Get your thoughts in. Cardiff, draw, or Reading. Reading's run of scoring worldies and winning ended, didn't it, at Darby? They lost 1-0. And I don't know if we've got any Reading in the chat here, but the defence was, who was it? Tetek, Yidam, Laurent, the midfielder, and Rahman. So no centre-backs again. 2 right-backs in the central midfield playing with a left-back in that back four. So hopefully for Reading's sake, Moore or Morrison, McIntyre, Holmes, I don't know where they've all gone. I think they're all injured. So hopefully they'll have one of them back. And Cardiff, by God, they need a win, don't they? I looked at the homes and aways, both bad. Cardiff bad at home, Reading bad away. Surprisingly, on the XG, Cardiff, you'd make Cardiff ahead of Reading. Basically, Reading score lots of very difficult goals and Cardiff create a lot of chances from set plays. Does that even itself out? You tell me. Okay, that's the beauty of looking at the probability stats. In terms of form and in terms of the table, you would edge towards Reading. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Scrolling up, guys. Jack has gone for a heavy one for Reading. James has gone for Reading. Ewan's gone for Cardiff. Liam. McCarthy failing on 3 counts. Poor results. Unattractive football. And no great acknowledgement rapport with the fans. Liam, this is the point where, as an Ipswich fan, I have to do the Jose Mourinho and say, if I speak, I'm in trouble. That's all I can say. I don't want to go down that road, but I have been down that road, is all I will say. Reading. Michael Flinter. Oh, that's interesting, Chris. He's stepping down, isn't he? Yeah, I like that, Chris. I like your 2 and 2 together and making 4.5 there. Jake's gone for Reading. Matt's gone for Cardiff. OJ's mentioning Michael Flynn as well. Interesting. Colm. Yes, 0-0. Reading. Cardiff conceded 9-2. Reading very high scoring. McCarthy to shut up shop. Draw. Away. Cardiff set pieces to save Big Mick. Reading, Cardiff on a downer. Peter, my master plan to bring Mick home. A few Barnsley fans have said that, aren't they? I'm assuming you're coming from a Barnsley point of view there, Peter. Draw. I think Colm and a couple of you guys have rumbled my thunder. I've seen Mick under pressure before, and I know exactly what he's going to do. Draw. And there's got to be one every round. There will be a 0-0 somewhere. I think Mick could take a 0-0 in this one, batten down the hatches. So I'm not going to touch the Football 365 predictor. I'm going to leave it at 0-0 at quite long odds, actually, 17-2. But will Cardiff take a ball in play, 35 minutes, no big chances, 0-0? Will Pauno, with no centre-backs, take Cardiff sitting back and retool after, well, the international breaks? They might have had a points deduction after then as well, but we don't know about that. I'll go 0-0 on this one. There's always one close to call. Right, here we go. Hull versus Borough. Hull versus Borough. Can someone pick me a player who's played for both? Hull versus Borough. There's got to be one, hasn't there? I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Dean Windass. There we go. The Dean Windass derby. Hull, draw, or Borough. Hull, draw, or Borough. Let's be fair. Both of these teams will be quite happy after midweek because Hull went down to 10 men at 1-0 down at 80 minutes and still managed to get a point against improving, we can call them informed Blackpool, can't we? Middlesbrough, really good result against Sheffield United. It was stood up by some good pressing and some good finishing as well. If you're a Borough fan, you'd be happy, but you'd want maybe a few easier chances created than the 2 good goals they scored via McNair and Duncan Watmore. Hull still can't stick the ball in the back of the net since opening day, where they scored 2 goals in 9 games and no wins. Ouch. Let me know your thoughts on this. Hull, draw, or Borough. Warnock's got this one circled, hasn't he, on his calendar. Let's see what you lot are saying in the chat. Here we go. OJ, draw, Borough. Hull, Borough. That's Mark's nil-all. There's always one. That's going to be a new catchphrase. Borough. OJ's got... Do you know what, OJ? I don't think I need my joker today. I hope that doesn't give away any other predictions for the rest of the show. Borough for MJ and Catherine. Jake's on his 0-0. Bingley Blade, Borough. Away, draw. Hull, lack of firepower. Struggling, aren't they? Hull still haven't won since opening day, says JC. He's gone for Borough. Ewan's on the draw. Borough. Simon, that's a proper joker. There you go. Hull, first win in 9 if they can get it. Borough. And I think I might add another one onto the pile. Sorry, Hull fans. Away. I just think they're there for the taking, aren't they? Hull, at the moment, I'm going to go for Borough in this one and 2 for 2 and a little Warnock 6-point surge over those 2 games. And I think I'm with JC, actually, again. I'm going to go 2-0. And you will get 9-1 from Betfair for a 2-0 victory for Neil Warnock and Borough over at Goal Shy Hull. 3 to go. Barnsley versus Middlesbrough. Barnsley draw or... let me start again. Barnsley versus Millwall. It says MIL on here, not MID. Barnsley versus Millwall. Barnsley draw or Millwall. Millwall, who are not Middlesbrough. Barnsley versus Millwall. Get your predictions in. Millwall. There we go. Right. Barnsley, their fans are not happy. Not happy with Marcus Shop. It's been a big struggle. And when you stack it up, they're not winning games. They're not creating chances, scoring goals. Nobody has scored fewer goals in the Championship this season than Barnsley. Ouch. And coming off such a brilliant season last season, like Hull, 1 win in 10. So also, nobody has scored fewer goals. Nobody has won fewer games than Barnsley. Millwall, under Rowett, they're only ever a couple of wins away from a good run with all of those draws that they keep on getting. And you look at it now, okay, 4 draws in a row and then a win. Yeah, 7 points in 5. If you get another win, and that becomes, what would it be, 9 points in 5? Starts to look all right. So let me know what you think. Certainly, Millwall and Rowett will be saying, right, this is a good time to go and face Barnsley. Let me just quickly go through my research. And I have to say, on homes and aways, XG form and the league table, it's gone Millwall. Sorry, Barnsley fans. That's just my metrics that I'm using on this one. Let's see what you lot are saying. Here we go. The first of many of them, I'm sure. Millwall Shop to be sacked. Millwall. Could be Barnsley versus the local under-12s. And we yourself, Davey. Deary me. Draw written all over it. 1-1. Malone out. Exciting front three. Tokes are our bogey team. Draw. Millwall away. Millwall. Matt, Barnsley are hopeless. Oh, the Barnsley fans are not confident. He's playing the joker for a Barnsley win on that one. 0-0. Feeling at home here. No idea why. That's allowed. You just have to say, OJ, it's the Championship. That allows any prediction here, apart from these silly 7-alls that we get sometimes. Draw. Mick and Shot both gone. Ouch. Draw. That's Bingley's gone for his 0-0 there. Barnsley struggling a lot. 2-1 Mill. Jed and Danny Mack linking up down the right. Yeah, I can't read that one, Davey, but I know what you mean. Draw. Millwall win. Dean, Football Manager's own. Dean, welcome, sir. Smith v. Hellick will be an interesting matchup. Yes. Although Hellick, one of those players we had such high expectations for after his great season last year. Tricky. Sorry, Barnsley. I'm going to go with the Barnsley fans who are telling me that they're going to lose this game. Away. Let's go for a Millwall win. And let's be honest, if it's a Millwall win, it's going to be 1-0, isn't it? A Rowett away job. 6-1 you will get from our sponsors, Betfair, on this one. They won't be surprised. And neither will the Barnsley fans, from what our Barnsley friends, who are they paying in karma for their brilliant season? What did they do wrong? They just beat everybody last season and finished 5th, didn't they? I've gone for Millwall. Millwall to win 1-0. Let's move on. 2 to go. Birmingham versus Nottingham Forest. Predictions, please. Birmingham, draw, Forest. Blues, draw, Forest. Interesting. I wrote in my Football 365 piece on this one, you have a side that started well, but is on a bad short-term run. And you have a side that started dreadfully badly and is on a good short-term run. Do you take the short-term of Steve Cooper and Lee Bowyer, and maybe you go in Forest's way? Do you take the long-term and maybe you end up on Lee Bowyer's side? Or do you assume everything cancels it out and it's going to be a draw? Cooper and Forest are, if you believe in the confidence side of football, which I do buy as an argument, it's not an unreasonable argument to make, you would be going with Nottingham Forest on this one, wouldn't you? But we will see how everything shakes out. I've got Forest on the homes and aways. I've got Birmingham on the XG. I've got Forest on the form, and I've got Birmingham on the table. So I'm pretty split with my research, let's just say. What are we going with in the chat here? Adrian's gone draw. Chris has gone Forest. Jack's gone Forest. OJ's gone Forest. Simon's gone Forest. Ewan's gone Forest. Catherine's gone Forest. Oh, you're all behind Forest here. Goodness me, 1-1 draw. Dean, Joe Lolly always scores against Blues. There you go. Forest by 2. Draw. Draw, Forest 0-1. JC, don't have much faith in Blues at the moment, not scoring. Bowie keeps playing 3-5-2. Bella wasted at wing-back. Draw. Forest. Under Bowyer, Charlton started well. They did. They did have less quality, though, didn't they? But, yeah, I can't disagree with that as a factual statement. Oh, I'm revising this, am I? No, I'm not, because I also have gone for Forest. Away. So, look, I do believe that confidence and short-term form is worthy of bringing up. And I think Forest could be on for 10 points in 4. Sorry, Blues fans. But Forest on a bit of a roll. I bet they'll fill up that away end as well. And I'm going to go for a 2-1. You will get 11-1 from Betfair on this one. 11-1. Sorry, there's someone at my front door. I assume it's a delivery person. So I've gone for Forest to win 2-1. 11-1 over at Betfair. Please gamble responsibly. Last one. Battle of the big scorers here. That was sarcasm if you didn't get it. Darby versus Swansea. Darby, who have scored 7 in 10. Swansea have scored 9 in 10. So 3-3 anybody? Oh, Swansea did that at Luton, didn't they, to be fair? Derby draw or Swansea? Derby are good, aren't they? Despite the club being in a bit of chaos and in administration and having been deducted 12 points. They would be at 13 points from 10. 1.3, which is fine for a team under soft embargoes with a small squad. They have got 6 points in the past 3 games, that being 2 home wins by the odd goal against Stoke, who are good, and Reading in midweek. And, you know, what we said about Reading, Reading can score past you. I had a look at the Derby XG, and it does tell a tale of an XG totting up against. But remember, with XG, with a team that knows how to defend and maybe can sit in a low block, that building up of that XG can often be an accumulation of low percentage chances. I haven't checked the big chances. I must do that on Derby. So they're either getting lucky in terms of the defence, or they're not conceding big chances, in which case they're not getting lucky at all. Again, that's the beauty of the XG debate. You can lead you down any particular theory. Swansea, well, they got Mitrovic, didn't they, in the week? And really nice at times, don't they? But only 2 wins in 10 under Russell. Martin, what are you guys saying then? Let's have a look. We start with James there. He says 1-0 Derby. Draw. Derby for Chris, Derby for Sean. Mark, miserly Rams defence. Bound to be away. Positive atmosphere. There you go. To be fair to those Derby fans, they've been filling up the stadiums, haven't they? Score draw for Mark. Derby to do a job, says Jack. 0-0, 1-0 Derby. Derby. Going away here, says OJ, encouraged by what he saw against Fulham for the Swans. Maybe take Mitro out of that game. And anyway, I'm labouring the point there. Derby 1-0. Swans to try and board Derby into speech. Everyone's going for a low scorer here. There's Charlie, wishing everyone a happy October. Yes, I forgot it was October and had to go and pay my council tax very quickly this morning. Jack, what's he going for? I don't know what he's saying in that. He's talking about Hull. There we go. Maybe we're on a bit of a delay there. Pierre and Patterson too much, says Alex. 0-0, 2-1 Swans. Dizzy Thumbs has gone for Derby. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Derby. Why the hell not? They've done well, haven't they? If the miserly defence continues, I'll go home. And I'll also go for a low-scoring home win, which would be a 1-0 to Derby. There we go. Get your questions in. We normally do a bit of a Q&A at the end of this, and I will rattle through my predictions on the Football 365 predictor game, and I'm going to submit them, which means the only way is onward. There is no going back, as my favourite ever kids TV programme used to say. If you know, you know. I'm sure someone will tell me what that's a quote from in the comments, if you're as nerdy and old as I am. I've gone for Stoke 1, West Brom 2 tonight. I've gone for Coventry 1, Fulham 3. I believe that's an early kickoff tomorrow. Posh 1, Robins 1, Blackpool 1, Blackburn 1, Hull 0, Borough 2, Luton 2, Huddersfield 1. I've gone for QPR 1, Preston 0, Barnsley 0, Millwall 1. I've got lots of 1-0s here. Bournemouth 1, Sheffield United 0, Blues 1, Forest 2, Rams 1, Swans 0, Cardiff 0, Reading 0. Mick to batten down the hatches. And a £1 bet could return £82,688. Go on. Someone fancies a little quid on that. Obviously, the odds are not good, but hey, let's submit my predictions. This is what you need to do. You just need to log in with your email address, sign up. And once you're confirmed, you are confirmed. And I don't think I'm too afraid to look at the leaderboard this time, because I had an all right week this past week, although it is just going to have added on. So this past week, I was the third best. Sabik is up there. Look at that. He had 7 for 12. 7 straight scorelines. I hope that's not one of the Football 365 people testing it again. But sensational if you did get that. Across the season, well done to Evan, who I think is one of our boys, isn't he? I think that's Mr. E. Luke Rowe said, oh, God, Ben HD, second. No, please get involved and get Ben HD out from second. I am never going to hear the end of this. Look, there's Hamza. He's one of our boys, isn't he? Oh, look, there's Chris. He's above me. No way. There's me there in 8th position. Go and get involved. And for God's sake, definitely get above Ben HD, Hamza and Chris as well. We cannot have them populating the top of the leaderboard. Our friends, we will never hear the end of it. For goodness sakes, there we go. Go and get involved on the predictor. Stick some questions in and we'll do a bit of Q&A before we leave. Please as well, hit like, subscribe, and super chat if you're feeling very, very kind. Let's have a look. Any questions in here? What shall we do? Do you think Blues, JC, need to go back to basics with 4-4-2 and drop Deeney, Fojuki and Hogan up front? I know I do. Well, I mean, it did work, didn't it, at the end of last season? 4-4, F-2, big man, little man, long throws, keep it simple. Yeah, it may work short term, but you just feel long term they need to. I know they've only got Chong for the season. They need to integrate him. Zhuk and Deeney are not going to be there forever, are they? You feel they need to build something, don't they? But there you go. Can Forest make the playoffs this season? Our fans are looking up, not down. So let's do some basic math, Charlie. 10 games gone. Forest at 8 points. I would project they would need What's our normal number? About 72. Let's go 73, 74. Then they're going to need 63 points from 36 games. Sorry, what am I looking at? No, sorry, they're on 8 points. God. So, yeah, to get to, say, 70, call it 72 then, go on, be kind. So they would need, 64 points from 36 games. It's a tough ask, but hey, maybe everyone can beat up on each other and they get a low-tide season. If Forest are going to make the playoffs, they're going to have to be good for basically the remainder of the season. And by good, I mean 1.8, 1.9 points per game. They would more likely be in that 10th to 16th conversation. But you never know. They could just go, God, who was it? Dowie and Palace just roasted through, didn't they? So there you go. Andrew, new to the channel. I'm a Newcastle fan. I'm in the prep. Oh, no. Well, as much as we'd love to see you, we'd love to have a club with as big a fan base as Newcastle involved, but I'm sure you'll stop up. You always do. But welcome along, Andrew. And yes, it's not a Halloween jumper, apparently. It's a cat jumper. But there you go. Thank you. Where did we get to in the Q&A? Thank you for your questions, guys. Keep them coming in. Ben, do you have enough fuel to get to Manchester? Yes, I do. And I know you're all going to tell me off. I'm going to Manchester United versus Everton tomorrow. But I am working, okay? So I'm not deserting the EFL. Well, I am deserting the EFL, but I'm doing it in the name of money. And while Shaylee's on maternity leave and we know how much eye-watering amount of money we're going to have to pay the childminder from next year. So, yes, I do have enough diesel. I went to the BP down the road, the M&S, where they do know me. And I was told they would have a delivery the following morning. And they would have diesel for, quote, probably a long time. So I think they were getting a big delivery. But then I went down the road to Morrison's and there was probably a 10, 15-minute queue. Can I swear there was some dickhead who thought it was okay on his moped to overtake everyone. He got the horn from a lot of people on that one. But otherwise, everyone was queuing nicely and I filled my tank to the top. But I do have to get up to Old Trafford tomorrow. But please don't tell me off for going to a Premier League, a Champions League club as well. Ewan, are Mitrovic and Pukki great Championship strikers? Yes, I would say so on the basis of doing it in separate seasons. Yes, I think we can stick them in the great category. Battle of the Bens. Oh, you love to see it. I take him on in the debate on Championship 365 as well. Shuki always messes Forest up, so I think that's a good shout. There you go. Lewis, Bielik back on the grass. Oh, that's great news. With Bielik coming back, do you think Darby will improve even more? Well, you can't argue against that, Lewis, can you? Darby will always be better with Bielik than they would without it. So, yeah, I love to watch Bielik as well. He's a beautiful player to watch. You look at him and you think, oh, big, powerful bloke. And then you watch him glide around and circulate the ball. Proper player. Bielik. So, Ben, says Chris. I thought Chris would be old school with his grammar there and not start a sentence with so. Flynn has announced he's leaving Newport after tomorrow's game. Mick has been saying recently that he had no clue how to fix things, although today quoted as saying they've been working on 4-4-2. I've seen Mick have a lot of success with 4-4-2. Yeah, keep an eye on that. Michael Flynn and Newport and Cardiff and locality and managers under pressure. Cherry's Red Army. Does Scott Parker have a dilemma with players like Brooks and Marconde struggling to get game time? Positive Christie proven. If he does, Cherry's Red Army, it's a good dilemma, isn't it? Let's be honest. He wouldn't be the first manager to struggle to figure out Marcondes as a starter. And, Marcondes in a big game, throw him in there. Brilliant player. But, yeah, I suspect Brooks will end up getting game time, won't he? But Christie's made a very, very good start, hasn't he? Look, I'm sure Cherry's Red Army, there's plenty of other fans of, I don't know, Peterborough, Barnsley, Preston, who'd love to have the dilemma of, do I play Rowan Christie or Marcondes or Brooks or Anthony or Stanislas or whoever? So, boom, I've got some great attacking players. Mike, should I put a bet on Mitro to get a hat-trick again? Away from home, maybe a small one, but obviously do it with our friends Betfair. And please gamble responsibly. What else have we got here? Matt, would a manager like Alex Neil steady the ship at Barnsley? probably. We just want to become established. Look, if that's the brief, then you could do a lot worse. I mean, when you line up Marcus Schopp, who's not known to the league, against an Alex Neil, who's young and has managed a hell of a lot of games. Yes, he does have that promotion on his CV, and we can't take a. I can't sit here. People do it with Scott Parker and Alex Neil and say, but it was Fulham with parachute. But it was Norwich with parachute money. You've got to give people like Alex Neil credit, and he's got a lot of experience, and owners will love to talk to Alex Neil in interviews, and he'll tell him all of this experience he's got at championship level. So, yes. James, do you think the table is starting to take shape? Us, Huddersfield, Blackburn and Cov all around the place, and Sheffield United in 13th. Seems mental, but we're 10 games in. It's always a yes and no with that, James, isn't it? Honestly, do I expect Coventry, Blackburn and Huddersfield to be between 4th and 7th by the end of the season? No, I don't. But one of them will probably stay around, won't they, in that top 8? And again, looking at the bottom, do you expect Forest and Swansea to be 19th? Add even Cardiff into that. Cardiff, Swansea, Forest to be 18, 19, 20. Sheffield United and Borough to be 12th and 13th. So, look, some of them will stay around where they are, but there will be a few big movers, and I'm talking 8, 10, 12 places. You know, maybe Forest might be one who you could pop up a fair amount of places. Short term, there we go. Lewis, what's your opinion on Rooney as a manager? Impressive tactically this season. Look, I think, and I've said a lot of times, people have Wayne Rooney derangement syndrome because he was so famous and because he was such a great player. People find it hard to judge him objectively. If you do judge him objectively, you would say he had a good run at the start at Derby. They were good defensively. And yes, he does have Liam Rossini there. And people are very quick to give Liam Rossini and Steve McLaren the credit when he was doing well, and then Rooney the blame when he was doing badly. That is the Rooney derangement syndrome in a nutshell, isn't it? Oh, it's all Steve McLaren, isn't it? And then when he's doing badly, oh no, Wayne Rooney's terrible. Hopefully, and I do know you lot are, I don't want to sound snobby, you lot are amongst the more considered football fans who may not say things like that. I know because I listen to your comments each and every day. But he's clearly doing a good job under awful circumstances. And again, if you take the 12-point deduction off, which I know you can't, but Wayne Rooney's not responsible for the 12-point deduction, is he? He's not. He's just the manager trying to get the team to win. And they would have a -1 goal difference with 13 points. So they would be in the top half of the table. That is how Wayne Rooney is performing. Unfortunately, Derby County as a club, and with the, let's not get into administrations and Mel Morris and EFL and all that. Unfortunately, Derby County as a club, but the performance, is 24. But Rooney's done well. He has done well. And I think the Rooney derangement syndrome kicks in there. Andrew, we would have Mitro back at the tune in a heartbeat. They've got some good strikers, Newcastle, haven't they? St. Maximin and Wilson are very, very good indeed. Glad I left this country before the fuel crisis. Is a bit mental. Mike, Forest could get playoffs. Derby know all about them. We only played for half a season when we made them all 3 times. There you go. OJ, do you think Derby can survive with this points reduction? Same goes for Reading. Well, if Derby only get 1 points deduction, they don't get a 9-point deduction, which to all intents and purposes looks like they will. I don't think they can survive with 21 points deduction. That would just be sensational. You'd be looking at, with a small squad in chaos, we always say 45 to survive. So you'd look at Derby performing at, so add 21 onto 45, 66, which would normally be about 10th place on the 10-year averages. So they'd have to be a 10th place team. To be fair to Derby, at the moment, whoop-de-doo, they are functioning at 11th place level. But there's been no transfer window. There's been no fire sale. There's been no one come and try and nick Bielik and Sibley and, whoever you want to pick, Bird, Burn, decent players. So look, if they go through with a fair wind, they get taken over before the window and there's not a fire sale and they don't have any injuries, then maybe they could do it. But they need to function, we think, as a 9th or 10th place team all season to be able to do that. Would be sensational, wouldn't it? Not bad up in the northeast for petrol. Yeah, Andrew, I live right on the M1, so it sucks down here. I have to say. Charlie seems to be clicking at Ipswich. His words, not mine. His words, not mine. Fancy a playoff push. Look, we've got Accrington on Saturday. We normally suck at Accrington. If we beat Accrington, Ipswich, that is, 10 points from 4 games, confidence. Maybe I might start to big myself up, but there we go. Brad, so happy with our start. Chris thinks Brooks is overrated. There you go. Certainly hasn't delivered for a while, has he? Ola, do you think Chris Wilder? I was going to say Chris Martin there. He's the Coldplay singer or the Bristol City striker. Do you think Chris Wilder will manage a team for the Championship this season? Do you know what? I do. Yeah, it would have to be a fairly big job. So you'd be looking at, I don't know. If Warnock got fed up at Borough, if they had a bad run, or I don't know. I'm now questioning myself. Which job would be big enough for Wilder to take? You'd look on paper at West Brom, Bournemouth, Fulham, Blackburn. No, probably not. Borough wouldn't go back to Sheffield United. Birmingham's a big job, isn't it? I don't know. Cardiff. Oh, Cardiff. Wilder to Cardiff. Anybody? I don't know. There you go. We'd have Scott Parker over Bruce any day. There you go. How good will Blackburn be when Dak is back? Again, like the Bielik argument that Lewis was making, Chris, you can't argue that they'll be better. Dak's a brilliant player, isn't he? You just hope with Bielik and Dak, who have both had 2 bad injuries, that they can get back. But we always look at Alan Shearer, who was elite. I mean, I know Alan Shearer is just a completely different level of player than anyone will be in the Championship, but he came back from 2 big injuries. Do I think Dan Bentley is in the top 3 best Championship keepers? Yes, I probably do. If we're talking on current form, he's playing very, very well, isn't he? What I will say is I'll give my normal caveats, Josh, that goalkeeper is the position that I, and probably you guys will admit, football fans understand the least. It's the most difficult to judge, the most unique position. I'm glad Gary Neville's gone on record as saying the most difficult position to play. It's definitely the most unique. But Bentley playing very well indeed. I think Moore is playing well at Coventry as well, isn't he? I'm just looking down my list of keepers. Bart Bialkowski always plays well, doesn't he? I'm keeping on. Yeah, it's a good shout for Bentley at the moment as well. Brad Collins had that amazing game for Barnsley as well. What else are we getting? Are Blades the new Stoke? What, as in 16th, 15th, 14th? Maybe. I mean, a key difference would be that they didn't spend in the way Stoke did the first year they came down. But hey, COVID and depressed market and all of that. Afternoon, John. Not going back to see the Blues prediction. Yeah, John's always honest on Blues, isn't he? Great questions coming in. We'll keep going because they're so good. I think Bielik is a great player. Good to hear he's on the grass. Yeah, fingers crossed for him. Chris, apart from the few at the top and the bottom of the table, hasn't taken shape yet. Big scrum. Chris is right about that. And we normally get this. 9th place Luton, 13 and +2 on the goal difference. 19th place Swansea, 10 points. So 1 game back essentially, but with -5 on the goal difference. Rooney looked so bad last season and so good this season. He did have a period where he looked good, but obviously we cannot, Simon, ignore the, 1 win in 12 towards the end of the season. How do I think tonight's match is going to finish, says Paul. You'll have to wind back, or I think I went, I can tell you, 2-1 West Brom. I went for Darby stay up. My prediction. There we go. I want to see Ipswich in the Championship again. You know what? So do I. But sometimes, and this sounds like a stupid thing to say, sometimes it's better for a club to have a winning season and miss out and then go up on the back of 2 years of winning. Sometimes it's best to take your time and do it. But obviously, that's not me saying I want to see Ipswich lose in the playoffs. But Ipswich fans know better than anyone, because we lost 3 seasons in a row in the playoffs, then won the playoffs, and then finished 5th in the Premier League on the basis. And George Burley said this, we won a hell of a lot of games over 5 years. And sometimes that can really, really work for teams. Have Barnsley reverted back to the normal place in the footballing spectrum? You'd have to argue yes. 21st in, I'm sure if we brought up the average position, it would be closer to 21st in the Championship. There would have been 5th last season. Alex, did you hear about League Two and Conference trialing alcohol? Bring it on, I say. Look, it's such a difficult one on alcohol, isn't it? Because we all want to believe that people can be responsible and take on personal responsibility and not like at primary school where one guy ruins it for everybody. But I want to believe that can be the case. I think I can take personal responsibility. I think Alex can. But sadly, look at fuel and look at COVID and lockdowns and pasta and queuing and being good to your fellow human. Unfortunately, the last 2 years does teach us that a lot of humans are incapable of taking their individual responsibility. And unfortunately, the caveman type imperative of look after number one does seem to override progressions we've made as a species in terms of looking after each other. So I hope the alcohol trials go well. But maybe as Simon Jordan said on the radio, or Trevor Sinclair, you need, or Martin Keown, I think it was, you need red flag games. So perhaps Norwich versus Ipswich, or Sheffield United versus Sheffield Wednesday, or I don't know, Charlton versus Millwall, or whoever need to still have alcohol bans. But we can see. Lincoln for the Championship, it's better to do it in the second year. Yeah, Lincoln haven't managed to do it. So there you go. You'll always find arguments for and against. If you can't go 45 minutes without a drink, then you have a problem. The petrol crisis tells me I can't trust him. There you go. Charlie lives in the US, drinking in the stands for MLS. I just think it's difficult, isn't it? You try your best to see the best in humankind, but the drinking culture in Italy, or maybe that's a bad comparison with the way some Italian fans have behaved. But okay, go with the direct comparison. US sports fans and English, it's different. Not even the drinking culture, just the sports culture is different. It's a very, very difficult dilemma. And whilst every fibre of me wants to believe that I should be allowed to take a pint of lager to my seat and drink it with my mate and enjoy the game, unfortunately, there's a lot of evidence and a lot of worry to say that the minority may ruin it for the majority. I hope I'm wrong. John, who will be the manager to bite the bullet this international window? I mean, everyone's bringing up two, aren't they? Mick McCarthy and Marcus Schopp look to be the two managers on the basis that Grant McCann's probably a made man with the Lambs. Looking at the table, you couldn't see anybody else in trouble, could you? But there we go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That has been the prediction show. Thank you. That was good, wasn't it? Let me try and do that again. Thank you to Betfair and Football 365 for being our sponsors. Go and have a bit of fun talking about personal responsibility. I know addiction is a thing, but go and have a bit of fun at Betfair. We're giving you the odds for all of the predictions. But remember, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Please, for Christ's sake, gamble responsibly, of course. And we thank Betfair, the excellent people at Betfair. Believe me, I deal with them. For being our sponsors, and the equally or even more excellent people at Football 365. And you can find the Championship predictor. I'm not showing the leaderboard because Ben HD and Hamza and Evan and Chris are all above me. There you go. I've just shown the leaderboard. Go and get involved in the Championship predictor game and go and check out 3-game week, for God's sake. Tons of writing from me. Every round you get a big midweek or a big weekend piece. You get a tactical preview. We've done Stoke West Brom. That's up. Go and read it. And you get these predictions in summary. But that doesn't mean don't come and join in the show, because we wouldn't do it without you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the weekend. I'll be back tonight, 7:30 Stoke v West Brom. Come and join me for that. I will not be here tomorrow because I'm prawn sandwiching it at Manchester United. But there we go. Here we go, Chris. Don't choke on a prawn. There you go. Drop a prawn down your throat and choke on it. There you go. I promise I'll be back doing EFL stuff on Sunday night, Championship Review at 7 p.m. And then we'll do England. Everybody loves England. Right. Thank you, everybody. I'll throw your shout-outs up in the advert afterwards. Thank you for listening on delay on the podcast or watching on delay on YouTube. And it's all a big over and out from me. Remember, the best way to watch these, though, is live if you can. Work permitting, obviously, for most people. And get involved live in the chat with our great bunch of subscribers. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.